Okay. Good afternoon. My topic is dialogic feminism, and I want to talk a little bit about its relationship with transnational and comparative education, and also about the regions of dialogic feminism, its development as a tool of analysis, and also its application in the same field. So what I need to clarify is that dialogic feminism has a direct relationship with social theory, and social theory is a very necessary framework of comparative education. Therefore, it is a natural fit for any researcher or educator who would like to integrate this perspective in her or his classroom or research. So I would like to cite Dr. Cashman in his explanation of social theory as a tool of analysis, but also as generated itself by comparative international education, and increasing our understanding of teaching, learning, and culture in the interest of other nations, regions, or locales. So that's one of the main reasons we are talking about dialogic feminism as an analytical tool. So dialogic feminism does critique power structures affecting women, and that itself is a very important rationale to integrate it into our classroom, because quite often we neglect the study of issues that pertain to women in general, but in particular racialized women in any community, and so that's the importance of focusing on feminism, because this is one of the many isms that we do not pick up when we speak to our students, when we analyze educational systems abroad or in the United States. And it can be a excellent vehicle to examine other intersections and relations of power, and also, of course, to empower our students and other educators. So one aspect that is shared by dialogic feminism and place-based pedagogies or border pedagogies is an emphasis in positionality. And positionality being your place in society that is quite mobile and fluid, but that determines your quality of life, determines also your relationship to other individuals and other communities, and which is a vehicle for critical thinking to promote your students' reflections on their situation in relation to other communities, in particular exploited communities, communities that are producing the quality of life that we enjoy in the United States, for example. And so that constructs a type of world citizenship or cosmopolitanism that is a healthy and very critical way to look at the world. So I would like to cite again Dr. Cashman who states that border pedagogy builds upon critical understandings of place and attempts to connect those understandings with larger context, with the aim of transforming realities in which learners deal with issues of poverty, racism, and sexism. Okay, now it is also very useful to learn the origins of roots of the term and the theory of dialogism and heteroglossia. Although other students are going to explain heteroglossia is very much related to dialogism. Why? Because heteroglossia simply means multiple voices, multiple perspectives that need to be heard, that also need to be taken in account, and that are also in need of respect. So what we have here is a complete theoretical system that was created by Bakhtin. Bakhtin in his literature analysis, but that is applied to other realms, to other knowledge fields, and as I said already, directly related to the theorization of dialogism. So a dialogical perspective, it does enter in conversation with multiple voices, recognizes differences, and it doesn't try to overpower them. It doesn't try to create homogeneity. It doesn't try to erase any difference, but it's a very horizontal relationship that is created, and in recognizing that there are alternative views, that there are multiple voices, multiple perspectives, then a dialogical position, be it feminism or be anti-racism or any other analysis or activism against social injustice, is going to decentralize the hegemonic power in assessing the reality and existence of other voices that are equally valid. Now, another aspect of dialogism and therefore dialogic feminism is historicity. And Bakhtin, who is basing his theories in Gramsci and Marx, does insist that every single social process and discourse has a specific moment in history in which its existence is possible and created as a combination of different factors. So context and historicity will render the particular event or discourse that is being created, and therefore the plurality of discourses and the temporary, this is also related to situation and position in history and social hierarchies, because if a discourse is historical, if it is a product of historical events, then its creation tells us that it can also be destroyed, or it can also disappear. So historicity empowers students, empowers researchers to imagine other worlds and other possibilities for social justice. Okay, so in relation to dialogic feminism, we can explain that it comes out of a so-called third wave of feminism, which is a consciousness moment in which non-white feminists do create this dialogic relationship with members of different diasporas and colonized female subjects, in which they continue to challenge in a very strong way the Western mainstreams of feminism, and also continue to denounce the very partial agenda of white middle class feminists who have created the notion that they have been responsible for any reform or any achievement that has taken place in the United States or other parts of the world. So third wave feminism is dialogic feminism, is practically non-white feminism, and it has to do also with womanism, which is this notion of black women as needing their own space, needing their own agenda, away from the middle class white feminists who having exploited them, who have used them in order to achieve their own liberation and freedom at the expense of third world women who inhabitate the United States because of the hierarchies and gaps that have been created in the United States. Non-white women usually live in third world conditions, and so womanists and dialogic feminism deals with those issues from the perspective of racialized and colonized women. So just to conclude this presentation, I would like to suggest that researchers and educators integrate this dialogic feminist perspective in their classroom and in their research. In my experience, there is no limit in terms of age to start introducing our students to the notion of multiple perspectives, multiple voices, and validation of all cultures and experiences, as well as critical thinking through the analysis of the experience of non-white women. So thank you very much.